You may just just the kind of the standard thing with Marcus and Robert, or any, I assume they're both going to start, and any limits on them minutes-wise tonight?
No.
And they'll start.
Yes.
You may, given the turnover issues you guys have had, how do you just respond to that after Game 6? And, you know, what do you kind of emphasize to the team given the issues that they've had in that area?
Yeah, we emphasize how it's affecting us, especially start of games. Turnovers and rebounds have been a common theme in some of the games that we have lost or got off to slow starts. And so, as always, understanding that the crowd is going to be there, the physicality is going to be there. Taking one or two less dribbles and getting the ball moving, which we've had success against them doing that in Milwaukee series and pretty much everybody else all year. So when we do it well, we're in good shape. When we don't, we struggle.
You may, Tyler Heroes sounds like he's probably going to play it. How does that affect things, if at all, for you guys?
No different, no change.
And you guys, you've been pretty, routine oriented throughout these playoffs. What went into the call to not shoot today?
Fresh legs, energy, juice. The series is what it is. There's no surprises from either side, and we want energy. And it was optional, but a lot of guys go and get the shots anyway. So getting out of the monotony of doing the same thing and keeping our fresh legs and energy for the night.
Ime, you obviously know your team better than anyone else. Any sense of how your team feels coming into this one? Is it pretty much how they felt going into every playoff game, the Game 7 versus Milwaukee? Just anything different at all about your team coming in?
No, nothing that is said or sensed any different. Confident as usual, but understanding what works for us and what doesn't. And so that's been the theme throughout the playoffs, throughout the season. And so it doesn't change because it's a Game 7. We faced 2 elimination games in the last series, and this one, obviously, like I said, after the last game, we gave ourselves a chance to, play 2 games for 1 and more of the same.
Ime, Robert hasn't started the second half now in 2 consecutive games, and I remember after the first one, the explanation was he needed an extra stretch. But are you seeing something now that gives you some sort of advantage to not going with him to start the third quarter?
No, it's strictly a physical thing. He warms up well before the game to get ready, and at times during the half, he wants to get a little bit more loose, and so it's strictly physical. Nothing game plan wise. We're comfortable going with either, and if he needs a little bit more time, we give it to him.
Ime, do you make anything out of the last 2-minute report that came out and the voluminous amount of, video that was looked at and a couple of incorrect calls against Derek White?
No, we felt those weren't fouls during the game, and we weren't trying to foul. Obviously, up 3 with a minute and change left, you would guard it out. So, no, it happened in the Milwaukee series. We put it behind us and did the same after this game. Game 6 is over. It's time to face this one.
Throughout the series, there's huge ebbs and flows with a lot of players being able to hit the shots that usually go in for them. A lot of the same coverages are seeing. What is it about, I guess, just the level of energy and mental aggression you need to have to try to, or how hard is it to sustain that, and why, did your decision this morning, how did that play into just wanting to make sure that they could sustain that tonight?
It's not anything specific about shots. It's just we know what's on the line, elimination game, and possible last game of the season, or we continue to move on and have some time to rest. So you want to be as full as we can. Guys are going to play heavier minutes, and some did last game. So strictly that, with our guys, I think we try to wear on teams and wear them down throughout a game. So those end of game shots are a little bit tougher. The looks aren't always there, and they're rushed at times. And so with our guys, feel they can play the adequate minutes if we need to increase them like they have throughout the playoffs and still be fresh. And so that was just more toward that, geared toward longer minutes possibly and being fresh tonight.